Hi everyone, this is Amrita from India Autism Center. I'm the vocational training manager here. And I've been working with disability for 21 years and I've worked from education to employment, not only rehabilitating them but giving them the test and a sense of independence. Today I'll be answering some commonly asked questions on autism diagnosis, the myths and facts revolving around vocational training, skill training, employment, job readiness. So I'll be answering few of the questions. So today's first question is, why do so many autistic individuals undergo vocational training but still remain unemployed? One thing we have to keep in mind that vocational training is not about jobs. It is about building an identity. It teaches a person, I can do something, I can contribute, I am needed, I have a place. That changes behavior. That changes confidence. That changes quality of life. The tragedy is not that some of them are unemployed, even if they have undergone skill training. The tragedy is when we never give them the chance to discover what they actually can do. So it's on us not to work only with the individuals with autism, but also creating certain spaces where they can be accommodated along with everyone. The second question is, how do we decide what job is right for each autistic individual? So there is no set rules for identifying right jobs. But first thing that we have to keep in mind is the strength, the interest, and the possibilities that we can have a roadmap for people with autism. So it's not certain things that are written that this person can go for this job, this person can go for this job. But also having a roadmap, having a transition plan for individuals from early intervention till vocational training to job readiness and later on. At what stage should vocational training ideally begin, and why do many families delay it? For me, as per my experience goes, the vocational readiness goes on the day you get the diagnosis or you accept that your child with autism will grow into adult with autism. The autism will not go out of your child's body and mind. So your day starts then. And as per my belief, the childhood is from the day you born, to 18 years. But if we take a lifespan of 70 years, the real struggle, the real world enters after the age of 18. So the families delay because the acceptance is delayed. The kind of validation is required that my child will be all right. The child will be getting into the normal world, getting into the real world. So this process delays the kind of training. So as early as you accept and you work on the transition plan, you can visualize the adulthood. You can visualize what life looks at 20, at 30, at 40. Your job becomes easy. Your work becomes easy. How does vocational training prepare individuals for long-term adulthood? So as we see, when a person is of 25 years, the self-esteem gets doubted that at this age you cannot do this, you're still trying, you're still learning, you still need support. So this gives a kind of self-confidence loss for a person in their identity, for their dignity. So we need to work on seeing what this person is able to contribute. That contribution, that feeling of contribution actually changes your perception towards yourself. Second is, when you grow another 10 years more at the age of 35, you see your social circles shrink. Your families and your siblings, they have their career, they have their life. So you feel distanced, you feel isolated. Your social circle gets smaller. And then the parents start thinking, what after us? At the age of 45, the parents gets exhausted and they start hunting or searching for places where these responsibilities can be moved on. So it is about making an individual knowing their identity, letting them know that they can contribute, not always economically, but socially, and feel at par, confident with the real life. Vocational training obviously gives a meaning in their purpose. So this gives a kind of search for their purpose to live, to be meaningfully engaged, to be participatory in the larger world is something I think that we, a parent or the professionals, should look into life of person with autism. Why are vocational skills critical for autistic individuals compared to purely academic learning? I think that's quite a tricky question, because some feels academically is challenging, some feels vocational training or skill training is challenging, because a lot of things are involved. So when you are only concentrating on academics, you're not concentrating on your fine motors, gross motors, your ability to translate, your social ability. So this is a comprehensive thing. So these all are required when you look for an individual with autism to work for in from purely academic to vocational thing. And the kind of training that we are having as vocational training is something very conventional, very limited. Rather than training, we need to give them an experiential learning, a doorway to exposure of real life challenges, real life world. I think this will change the perception of what kind of skill training that we are planning for an individual with autism. What role does vocational training play in building a sustainable future after parents are gone? As I mentioned earlier, at different ages, like at 25, 35, 45, you lose the feeling of what I am contributing, where I am considered. Is this place belongs to me? Am I happy? So it's not always about contributing economically, but also finding self-dignity, self-esteem, and an identity through a vocational training. Vocational training, as I started, vocational training is not about employment. It is about creating an identity of a person. Not that every person needs to economically contribute, but having a sense of purpose is something that we should look into it. If you find these answers appropriate or meaningful to you, you can browse through our different videos, log or subscribe into our channel, India Autism Center. Do share, subscribe and like, and share with fellow-minded parents so that they also get directions. Do connect us whenever you feel like you're getting lost or you need some directions at any point of your life. Thank you so much.